good word, and means the application of wisdom so as to create meaning. And it's taken on a pejorative context.
Is that not discernment?
What's that?
Is that not discernment?
It is discernment. It's saying, this is not that. So judgment is in my mind a good thing. To show good judgment means that you have looked at the situation and discerned that your course of action should be such and so because this is the best for the situation. And so anyway, I just as a use of the term, I don't want to get into a whole thing on that. I just want to get the.
I am not disagreeing with you. However,
But
I just want to put an addendum on it. Judgment is different than prejudgment. If Steve is coming at me looking aggressive, my prejudgment is Steve is big, he's going to kill me, I better get out of here or I better get some weapon. Right? That's prejudgment. That's before I even connect with Steve. If after Steve and I have our little encounter, or while we're having an encounter, I may judge, I got to diffuse this, that would be Rick's kind of judgment, as opposed to prejudging.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm saying don't automatically judge. Don't judge from habit. Judge after you perceive.
You want to take new information. Don't detach from the meeting
In order to judge.
to uphold the idea you had.
Yeah.
Well, if you have an idea about something before you've met it, then it's really just your idea. So it's a prejudgment.
Right.
It just seems to be directed at that thing, but it
that's
isn't
the whole
actually
point.
about that thing.
If
Yeah.
I think Steve's going to kill me if I ever try to push with him seriously, that is a prejudgment, but it has a lot of wisdom in it. Because, I'm a 114 pound
so it's okay to prejudge
weakling.
if you do it from a point of wisdom.
Yeah. I mean, it would be wise for me not to fight with Steve.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to become a self-fulfilling prophecy either. Like,
That's a good point.
that.
That's a good point.
Right. And then automatically you put that in your mind.
Right. And then I'm not working with Steve himself. I'm working with my idea that Steve's going to kill me.
Don't we just mean judgment without moral connotation? Like when you see a car going 60 miles an hour, you don't judge the car for going 60 miles an hour. You just don't walk
That's
in front of it.
discernment. I think that's what Steve's.
Well, that's the same concept. I mean, it's still a form of judgment. You still have to perceive somehow what's coming toward you, but
There is information.
yeah, process it without sort of emotional.
Well, it's also true that not all meeting is physical, so you don't have to get hit by the car to know that you shouldn't have gotten in front of it. So, so Maria could have decided before Steve got within touching distance that actually there's enough information from the field here that he actually is coming over and knock me on my head. So I'm gonna kind of, when we get close enough, I will start with getting him out of my way physically, as opposed to taking a shot across the bow first, right? And that's getting real information, but at a distance. So it's a less spooky version.
But it's not making a choice before I get the information. Or before I meet. Anyway, we just look at this forever, but over to you guys.
That's the interesting. I think this has been fascinating.
If the thoughts come out of the past, you'll lose the present though. You always want to be in the now, right? Because a lot of times judgment can be some old circuitry that's firing from way back. And it takes you out of the now.
Yeah, but I don't know, foresight is a good thing. I think that's another thing to issue the line as well.
Absolutely, you can have, there's tools that are available. Yeah.
If he beat me to a pulp last week and I see him again, I know that he's capable of it. At least it's not a wise judgment not to fool him.
Well, yeah, you always want to avoid a conflict.
I think this all gets, we're moving off from the essence of what Maria was presenting there, which is that we have certain fixed responses, and they are happening at a pre-conscious level, and that bringing awareness to those those fixed responses enable you to be free of those. And whether we call it judgment or not, we're freeing ourselves from these fixed responses, these fixed ideas, and be able to try something new, open up to new possibilities. And that does require meeting someone in the now and actually adjudicating, whether you judge or not, you're adjudicating it, at the moment whether or not there is a real threat to survival here, or if it's just something that can be handled by the skills that I have available or whatever, and you make that that discernment.
Interrupting the trance in favor of the now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bringing awareness, interrupting the trance, that your habitual trance, interrupting that with an infusion of conscious awareness, so that you're able to reevaluate your fixed ideas.
And you can also change that data that you're taking in. I mean, the physical intervention that you both did to fill the arm, to fill the finger, right? That changed the
Change
field.
the entire thing. Change the internal state immediately,
right,
as well as the external event.
Right, and so somebody may have had the intention or the desire to change the state, but not the means to do it without.
Right. So, yeah, excellent.
I think part of this discussion is about what to do with. Is it just a car? Are they really going to do me harm? Do I not have enough information? Is this a trance? Is this habitual? Maybe I could do soft power. Maybe how do I get into the now? I'm in the trance, interrupted. Most of that stuff really just follows noticing what Maria was trying to get to. Maria's section wasn't about here's what you ought to do, or here's how you fix it, or here's what's wrong. It was just, can you notice it?
Right.
And once it's noticed, then the kung fu and the wisdom is, well, how do I need to address it? Or in this case, how do I address it? What's my hang up? And then that, in a lot of what we said is right in different circumstances for different people. It doesn't follow that there's this one sort of religious answer to the whole thing, like handed down from on high. There's a lot of different possibilities. But what she was getting at, I believe, was can you notice what happens before the thinking? Can you bring your awareness to that? And if you can, then you may discern through your wisdom an alternate thing. But if you can't even notice, if you don't know you're sick, you can't work on getting healthy, right? So even if Rick says, here's what you should do whenever you touch, if you've already skipped her workshop, you hear his words, but they bounce off because you're in your trance and you don't even know it. So you have to, first raise your hand. I'm an addict to the trance. All right, good. You're all supposed to say thanks for coming. And then you get a partner and you work on that. And then the skills and the practices stem from that. How do I want to address this thing? But Maria's was beautifully free of should, and it wasn't even judgment. It was just. And remember too that a big part, which I think we may have buried the lead on a little bit, is that a piece of every one of these discernments and interactions was me, not my partner. Maybe half, right? But it doesn't mean John was aggressive, but I picked up aggression. It doesn't mean you're wrong. Hey, John, don't. It's like, hey, that's just what I'm getting. I could even be wrong, but still I'm responding to what I'm getting.
Right.
So when we follow on to the rest of this stuff, the sort of the branches off of that trunk of her workshop, probably half of all of it's on me. Right, and that then we
assumption.
Right, and that's what Abdi says too, right? He's just like, oh, you got a whole lot of problems. Your husband's a drug user and cheating on you and wrecked 3 cars in a row. No, it's half on you. What? Like, oh,
what I do?
Like, well, let's just talk it through. And he can show you, like, it's half on you. Like, it's a relationship. So anyway, glad Abdi could make it. So let's take a couple minutes to hydrate or reapply sunscreen or whatever, and then I'll take us up to lunch with a few minutes. So
Great.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't need to go so long.
That's great.
Yeah, that's terrific.
That was better than what Rick and I were going to do.
Yeah.